Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Naranam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet. Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtike Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Caitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Andeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru and Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha, Gopika Kanta, Radha Kanta, Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, Radhe, Vrindavaneshwari, Rishabhanu, Sute Devi, Pranamami, Hari Priye. Namam Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prishtaya, Bhutale, Shrimate Bhaktivedanta, Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste, Saraswati Devi, Gauravani, Pracharini. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatari Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Varevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We continue reading today from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are reading from Canto 3, Chapter 17, Text 15. So we have been hearing how it became such devastating effects, well, omens were seen when Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu were born. Throughout the universe, such things were being observed. Drishtvanyaamscha mahotpatan atat tattva vida prajaha brahma putran vrite bhita menire vishwa samplavam. Marking these and many other omens of evil times, everyone but the four sage sons of Brahma, who were aware of the fall of Jai and Vijay and of their birth as Diti's sons, was seized with fear. They did not know the secrets of these portents and thought that the dissolution of the universe was at hand. So everyone was scared, everyone, because what we read yesterday was really scary, you know. Imagine the cows are bleeding, and then there's what we said, that the ominous planets were shining brighter, and then she jackals are howling and crying, and you know, earthquakes happening, so many devastating things all at one time. So everyone's scared what's going to happen. But of course the four Kumaras, they understood, okay, it's Jay and Vijay only, you know, it's okay, they are devotees actually, and it's all the plan of the Lord. So according to Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, the laws of nature are so stringent that it is impossible for the living entity to surpass their enforcement. It is also explained that only those who are fully surrendered to Krishna in Krishna consciousness can be saved. We can learn from the description of the Srimad Bhagavatam that it is because of the birth of two great demons that there were so many natural disturbances. It is to be indirectly understood, as previously described, that when there are constant disturbances on the earth, that is an omen that some demoniac people have been born, or that the demoniac population has increased. In former days, there were only two demons, those born of Diti. Yet there were so many disturbances. At the present day, especially in this age of Kali, these disturbances are always visible, which indicates that the demoniac population has certainly increased. Wow, so this is like Satyug, right? This is at the very beginning, the first demons, no other demon in the universe, only Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Only these two demons in the full universe, they were not even on this earth planet. And then so much disturbances happen. And then now, of course, it's correctly said, as we were saying, there's like the demon in us, each of us has this demoniac quality and the divine quality. And so those here, Prabhupada is so nicely putting it those who are fully surrendered to Krishna in Krishna consciousness can be saved. So this is how we can save us and we can save others. Become Krishna conscious, hear and chant Krishna's names and glories. Surrender to Krishna, the supreme will of the Lord. To check the increase of demoniac population, the Vedic civilization enacted so many rules and regulations of social life, the most important of which is the Garbhadan process for begetting good children. So in the Vedic times, when the Varna Sharma system was very much followed, then before a person would beget a child, they would follow this ceremony, Garbhadana process. Garbhadan. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjun informed Krishna that if there is if there is unwanted population, Varna Shankara, the entire world will appear to be hell. People are very anxious for peace in the world, but there are so many unwanted children born without the benefit of the Garbhadan ceremony, just like the demons born from Diti. So we are always saying, oh, we want peace. And because if we see what's happening in the world, we'll be like, oh my God, really? What's happening? Where's the peace? Where's the tranquility? So we are all wanting peace, but there is so much Varna Sankara, unwanted population. What does it mean? What is the consciousness of the parents when they're begetting the child? So the consciousness of the parent is going to attract the soul, of that quality of the soul. And so that's the reason Garbhadan process is recommended, so that the consciousness of both the parents is very divine consciousness. They've chanted their rounds. And so, there's not that lust, but really a desire to bring forth a good soul is there. And that's how we can attract a good soul. And then if everyone follows that, then of course the face of society will change. There will be peace everywhere. So Diti was so lusty that she forced her husband to copulate at a time which was inauspicious. And therefore the demons were born to create disturbances. In having sex life to beget children, one should observe the process of begetting nice children. If each and every householder in every family observes the Vedic system, then they're nice children, not demons. And automatically there is peace in the world. If we do not follow regulations in life for social tranquility, we cannot expect peace. Rather, we will have to undergo the stringent reactions of natural laws. So what happens is, we say, no, we are not going to follow the Vedic injunctions. There is, the Vedic injunction is saying, you want peaceful population, you do the Garbhadan Samskar, then you have a child. But we say, no, why shall I follow this? And then we say, oh, there is so much unrest in the society. Let me try to do some artificial ways to make the society peaceful. But we see then it doesn't work. Then what to do? So we can see that we are always trying to find some solution by ourselves. But the solution is there already in the Vedic literature, that if you do this, this is going to happen. If you do this, this is going to happen. So we don't want to follow. And then we say, I'm going to find my own solution. And then do we actually find the solution? Like Prabhupada would say, what is the United Nations doing? Is it really uniting all the countries? Or is it that each country is fighting for their own benefit? And also he would say that it's not only that we have to protect the people, even the animals, the birds, the fish, everyone is a citizen of that land. It's not only the people that have to be taken care of, the human beings, all living entities, the trees, everyone is a citizen of that country. So we can see them, at every level. And any comments or questions? No, then we read further. Tab Adi-Lila sahasa vyajyamanatma paurusho vavradhate asma sarena kayenadri iva. These two demons who appeared in ancient times soon began to exhibit uncommon bodily features. They had steel-like frames, which began to grow just like two great mountains. There are two classes of men in the world. One is called the demon, and the other is called the demigod. So in Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, there's the divine and the demoniac. He says it. The demigods concern themselves with the spiritual upliftment of human society, whereas the demons are concerned with physical and material upliftment. The two demons born of Diti began to make their bodies as strong as iron frames. And they were so tall that they seemed to touch outer space. They were decorated with valuable ornaments. And they thought that this was the success in life. Means going to the gym, pumping a lot of iron, getting very buff, wearing a lot of valuable ornaments. They would wear crowns and necklaces and all that. And they thought, okay, now I'm so powerful. Originally, it was planned that Jaya and Vijay, the two doorkeepers of Vaikuntha, were to take birth in this material world, where, by the curse of the sages, they were to play the part of always being angry with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this was already planned. Krishna had already told them, okay, Jaya Vijay, you're gonna act as these two demons, and your role is to act demoniac, and you have to be always angry. As demoniac persons, they became so angry that they were not concerned with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but simply with physical comforts and physical upliftment. So what does it mean? So does it mean that we should not be concerned with physical upliftment or physical comforts? No, sure, do it. We are in the body. We have to maintain the body. But we have to, the main goal is reestablish our relationship with the Supreme Lord. So we maintain the body, of course, whatever they are doing, physical and material upliftment, we do that. We have to maintain, we are in the body. But always keep the higher goal in mind. So, Devi Sparsho Hema Kirita Koti Bhir Niruda Kastho Spurad Angada Bhujo Gam Kam Payanto Charane Pade Pade Katya Shukan Charkam Atityatas Thatuhu. Their bodies became so tall that they seemed to kiss the sky with the crests of their golden crown, with their gold crowns. They blocked the view of all directions, and while walking, shook the earth at every step. Their arms were adorned with brilliant bracelets, and they stood as if covering the sun with their waists, which were bound with excellent and beautiful girdles. In the demoniac way of civilization, people are interested in getting a body constructed in such a way that when they walk on the street, the earth will tremble. And when they stand, it will appear that they cover the sun and the vision of the four directions. If a race appears strong in body, the country is materially considered to be among the highly advanced nations of the world. So strong men, It's fearful, right? Imagine if we were to see really, if Jai Vijay really come and stand in front of us. I mean, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, they're big, tall, demoniac looking. That head is almost touching the sky and so tall. Wow. And when they're shaking and when they're walking, the earth is trembling. Sounds scary. Prajapati nama tayor akarshad ya praksva dehad yamayor ajayata tamve hiranya kashipum vidu praja yam tam hiranyaksham asruta sagrataha. Prajapati Kashyap, the creator of the living entities, gave his twin sons their names. The one who was born first, he named Hiranyaksha, and the one who was first conceived by Diti, he named Hiranyakashipu. There is an authoritative Vedic literature called Pinda Siddhi, in which the scientific understanding of pregnancy is very nicely described. So Pinda Siddhi, to understand scientifically what happens in pregnancy. It is stated that when the male secretion enters the menstrual flux in the uterus in 2 successive drops, the mother develops 2 embryos in her womb, and she brings forth twins in a reverse order to that in which they were first conceived. The child conceived first is born later, and the one conceived later is brought forth first. Okay, so there is a literature called Pinda Siddhi to understand, how many children can be born in the womb and how can it be done and all that. So 2 embryos are developed in the womb and the twins are there. So the first child conceived in the womb lives behind the second child. So when birth takes place, the second child appears first and the first child appears second. So they come out one by one. So the first one is, the second one is Hiranyaksha, and the older one is Hiranyakashipu, in the way it was conceived, in the way it's conceived. We might say, but, the one who's born is earlier. I'm not sure how do we calculate it now, I'm not sure in the hospitals, how do they record it now? Who's the older one or who's the younger one? But anyway, according to this Shastra, Hiranyakashipu is older.
They record the way they are born.
They record the way they are born.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. My brother had twins, so the one who was born first is considered as the elder. But this is amazing. Even I never knew that. That means that the one who comes out later is the elder one.
Because he was conceived earlier.
Yeah. This is amazing. Yeah.
So imagine there's so much in Bhagavatam, so many details or so many different things.
And that too in Bhagavatam.
Exactly, Bhagavatam. We are reading Bhagavatam as Sukadev Goswami, the liberated person, is speaking.
Yeah.
So
one question, what do you say about the IVF, the in vitro fertilization, the artificial insemination? Is it against?
Is it against? I'm not sure. I have not asked and I'm not sure about it. But for example, I know like for Mahabharata time, Vyasadev's semen was used, Of course, all that is prohibited in Kali Yuga. Because anyway, it is the semen and the egg of the man and woman
to conceive. Yeah,
it's, that is necessary, not so. I don't know if it's against or no. I don't know. I guess for practical purposes, people need to do it. Not sure.
Okay.
But it just goes to say, that we do need, we can't create a living entity just by ourselves.
Right. No, because so much about Garbhadan and everything, no? It's
mentioned. You mean because of the consciousness, what kind of soul we are attracting? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, agreed. Right. Yeah, what's the consciousness of the person's sperm at that time? Yeah, you never know. And so that's why we
have the surrogacy and all that stuff. So
yeah. And so that's the reason we can see, as more and more people, the younger and younger people, there is a lot of emotional problems. There's a lot of, I don't know if you have noticed, we wouldn't hear our more elder generation being saying like so stressed and so
Stress, yeah, we're going
angry,
through anxiety and things.
anxiety. Yeah. And these are young children. So it's coming, it's a samskar which is there in the mind already. So yeah, in fact, thanks for bringing it up. It really gives one more evidence then how important Garbhan samskar is then. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because everything we are forgetting that the emotions and all that is very important. The consciousness is important, and we are forgetting that. We are just becoming like machines, more like, I feel. So like becoming mechanical, or you can have a child in the laboratory kind of a thing.
Yeah, that's what I feel sometimes, that okay, if you can't get a child, I think we just accept it, no?
Accept it
And
as the
rather
will
than
of the
going,
Lord.
yeah, the
Mm.
law, yes, the
Yeah.
will of the God. And rather than going through all this, the
Yeah.
unnatural way.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Then again, that's the reason we have to educate people about,
Mhm.
encourage people to chant, to encourage people to accept what we are going through, and then, that this is not really the main focus of life. And the main focus is, of course, to live peacefully, of course, in this world, live peacefully, happily, and cultivate Krishna consciousness. So yeah,
You
very
know,
important point.
there is a story about the Gokarna in Bhagavatam,
Mhm.
that there was this Brahmin, and he didn't had a baby for a very, very, very long time, and he wasn't able to have it. And then he meditated, and then some Krishna appeared or somebody, and then they said that, okay, you don't have a child, like you can't have, but because you meditated, so maybe I'll give you. And then he said that, okay, I give you this mango, you go and give it to your wife and you'll have a kid. But the wife she was so concerned for her bodily beauty that she didn't want it to conceive, and she didn't want it to carry a baby and have all that bump and everything. So she said that, okay, she gave it to the cow,
Mm.
and the
Yeah.
cow ate it, and then cow gave birth to a like a boy,
Mm.
and that was born with the ears of a cow. And
Mm.
then that was called the Gokarna. But then what happened? Now she needed a baby. So her sister gave birth to a baby, and then she pretended that I'm pregnant. She had all the bump, and she created all the bump and false bump and everything. And she lived at her mother's house with the sister and everything. And then she brought his baby at home.
Mm.
And that baby
Mm.
turned out so evil. He was the
Mm.
most evil and the wicked. He did the most bad things, demoniac things that he could do as a human.
Mm.
And then because of that, the mother died. Father went to the father went to the forest, and he said, I don't want to live, like what should I do? He's like, so everything ruined. And this boy, the Gokarn, father said that because he's born from our cow, so he also treated that boy as his son. So that boy was nice, and he considered them parents and everything. And then in the end, he fell into the prostitution, the bad one. And then he died and everything. And those prostitutes killed him.
Mm.
And
Mm.
then
Mm.
later, the Gokarna, when he came back, he said that that person has created, the brother had created as a bhoot, the bhoot pishaj, because he was not a good person. He did nothing nice. And then he asked Gokarna, can you please read Bhagavatam for me?
Mm.
So then he read, and then the airplane came, and then they went. So, but the point is that if something is not in your destiny, if you even try harder and harder and harder, no matter, it will still give you this, you will still get the same results. You might get happy by getting a child,
Mm.
but still the result was, they all, like, everything was gone.
Mm.
So it was better not to have it rather than
Mm.
having it, and because it's not in your destiny. So, like, this is a very, very famous story from Bhagavatam.
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, so this
it's
is
from
like,
Bhagavatam, huh?
yeah, this
Okay.
is one of the stories from, I think from other, I mean, I don't know, but they say this is from Bhagavatam, but I've never seen.
Yeah, I've heard this katha.
You've heard this,
but
right? This
yeah,
katha.
yeah.
So, yeah.
I've tried to
So-
recollect the name of the two sisters. Right.
I'm something like Pingala and Angal. I mean, I'm not remembering.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
remembering exact because there's been but this is like what Snehaji right now said, no, and you said that we are trying to do things that is not in our destiny. Like if I just have 2 boys, I'm trying to get a daughter. But if it's not in my destiny, if it is, it will come itself. Why should I try harder for the things? I should accept it and live happily and accept the will of Krishna.
Again, you know,
but we are not.
Then again, the question comes, how much is too hard? You know, how much is, oh, am I trying my best? Did I try hard enough? You know,
No, I mean, see, like if everybody say that I should have a baby girl, but if I conceive and I get aborted because it's a boy, then it's my fault. You getting my point? But if I want a boy, if I have 2 girls, and if I want a boy, and if I conceive, and if that's a 3rd girl again, and I do an abortion, then that's my fault.
Yeah.
Right?
So
that's my fault because it's not. So then I should I mean, I can still conceive, and if it's a baby girl, it's my destiny. If it's a baby boy, then it's my destiny. But I cannot abort the baby.
Yeah.
That is wrong.
Again, it comes to the point, no, that accept the will of the Lord.
Yeah.
Now, again, how many of us are willing to accept the will of the Lord? And
that's what the problem is.
And because we don't accept, we have this anxiety and stress and, you know.
Yeah, agree.
You know.
But that's what people say, no, because science is advanced so much. So if there's no other way, we can't get a child. So let us go through this artificial, no? Insemination. So,
but somehow, I don't know. I think that's good also. Like, I mean, people,
it would be good if you know whose sperm it is and who's the mother. Like if you do proper research, not that it's some random person's sperm.
No, but I think in IV they just use the husband and the wife egg and semen.
That's
and
okay.
then
you know, I guess. And if the consciousness of those both the parents at that time is also like, you know, a purified consciousness, and really if they need a kid, and you know, I guess that would be okay. But just getting any random person without checking background.
And then what would we say about adopting children?
That's very personal thing, you know.
That's personal.
And very personal again. Again, we'll see that, you know, how much are we into it? What kind of you know, really personal, I would say.
Yeah, so we can't just make
we can't make such a big general assumption
absolutely,
because we don't know what a person is going through, who they are adopting,
absolutely
story. So that would require, like, you know, specific case scenarios.
But this is amazing. Like, I never knew even about this one, that you conceive first of all, and then the first one is born second, and the second one is born first. This is amazing.
Yeah. So
how much knowledge I mean, it is a store of everything. So the moment you read, something new is there to learn. Wow.
So true. So true.
We learn something new.
So I'll just read the last line.
I'm sorry.
No, thank you. So then, in this case, it is understood that Hiranyaksha, the second child conceived, was delivered first, whereas Hiranyakashipu, the child who was behind him, having been conceived first, was born second. So Hiranyakashipu is older and Hiranyaksha is the younger one. Yeah, but it was good to have that nice discussion and different viewpoints and different case scenarios, you know. That was good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Shilpa ji, thank you. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare